Here we go. So the thing I want you, oh, that's new. Always changing things in my app here. The thing I want you to see is we're still solving a quadratic, right? It's still something in a quadratic form equal to 0. Okay, that's how we solve a quadratic. But what we did yesterday was we factored it. Well, if I try to factor this, I'm saying what can I multiply to get a -6 that I can add to get 4? What can you multiply to get -6 that you can add to get 4? You can't, okay? It's not going to work to factor. So you might love factoring, but factoring's not always going to be an option. So because factoring is not an option here, we're going to do it with the graphing calculator, and you're actually going to love this because it's very, very easy. So you keep this in front of you. I'm going to go away from this and show you my graphing calculator, but I just want you to see the steps as I talk you through each step so that when you go back to try to do the homework, if you forget, you know where things are. So pull up your graphing calculator to a blank screen for now. Were you not even seeing that up there right now? My notes? It was? Oh, it jumped to here. Be fickle for me today. The first thing you must do on this is go to y equals, and it's always been super important that what is on here? Plot, okay? Now they have to be off. If they're on, it won't work, okay? We don't want our plots on anymore. So you're gonna go up to that plot box, okay? So it should be blinking there, hit enter. And now go down and just make sure that there's no black box there anymore. Okay, so up to plot 1, enter, get rid of the black box. Where's your calculator? Oh, did you turn it off right? You're so speedy. We good? Everyone's plots are off? Okay, so now here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna treat this as an intersection of 2 lines. Okay, remember we're looking for a 0. Right? We're saying find the x-intercepts, find the zeros. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in our 2 pieces as 2 separate equations. We're going to put the left side of our equation in for y1, and stay with me right now so that you make sure you know where to find all these buttons, because so often people are like, how did you even get that x? I'm going to show you right now. So if we're going to plug in an equation right here, we're going to start, see this button here, x, t, theta, n. That's our variables, okay? When you click that, you're going to get an x. So you're going to go x, and then this squared button, plus 4x. So you're going to go back up to that x button, minus 6. Okay, and then hit enter. So you should be seeing that. Does anyone need help getting it to look like that right now? Okay, so that's the left side of our equation. The right side of our equation is a what? 0. That's going to be a second equation for us because we're going to graph this parabola, and then we're going to graph the line y equals 0 because that's going to help us find our zeros. So y2 equals 0. Put a 0 in for your y2. And then just enter. Okay, so now when you hit, it's different now when we're graphing this one. You're going to hit, instead of zoom 9, you're going to hit zoom and then standard. Okay, this is going to give us the right window that we want. So zoom 6. Now, notice what happens. If you have the not color calculator, you probably don't see that second line, the red line, okay? But it's there. If you put in y2 equals 0, it's there. It's the y or the x-axis. That's why you're maybe not seeing it. If you have the color, then you see color. So what we're looking for right now is what are the zeros? And we said zeros are what? x-intercepts, right? Where it hits the x-axis. So our zeros, if you look up here, are right here and right here, okay? The way we're gonna find them is we're gonna tell the calculator to figure out where our two lines intersect, right? That's all that's happening there is it's an intersection of those two lines that we put in. So you're gonna go second, and then trace up top. Okay, so second, trace, and then notice what number 5 is. It's an intersect. That's gonna find for us the intersection of two lines. So second, trace 5. Okay, now your calculator should be asking you a question. It's gonna say, is this your first curve, question mark? And we're gonna say yes. So hit enter. Then it's gonna say, is this your second curve? So our second line, yes, hit enter. Do you want me to guess where they meet, where they intersect? Yes, I do. So really all you're doing once you go second trace 5 is enter, enter, enter every time, okay? Because it's gonna say first curve, second curve, guess. So enter, enter, enter. And now look what happens. It says your intersection is at x equals 1.1622777. We're gonna round, okay? So we're gonna say our intersection, put this in your notes. So now you should have one of your zeros. This is number 7 on the notes. You're gonna say x equals 1.16. Okay, we're just gonna round to 2 decimal places. That's the easiest one to find. The next one is not hard, but you just have to do a little bit of work to get there. It's not a lot of work. We want another intersection. So how do we find an intersection? Second, trace. Okay, really what we're doing is calculate, right? Second, calculate, but it's the trace button. What number? 5. Okay, now, if you just hit enter, enter, enter again, it's gonna give you the exact same one because of where we're sitting. So what you have to do is you need to arrow over to the left so that you're closer to the other intersection. That means I could stop right here. I could stop right here. I could try to stop right on it. That's up to you. But you're gonna hit enter, enter, enter. And you should get your second intersection. So that one is x equals a negative 5.16.
Wait, what do you do after you do the...
Did you arrow over?
So not the arrow part.
You did the arrow?
Yeah.
Then just enter, enter, enter.
Okay.
First curve, second curve, guess. Did I do it?
Yeah.
Okay. That's the whole lesson. Well, kind of. Because now if you look in the notes, you just need to make sure what, like for letter B there, what do you got to do? Set it equal to 0 first, okay? We want to set it equal to 0 because your y2 then is always going to be 0. So that just makes life a whole lot easier. So let me jump back to this real fast, show you what I'm doing, and then we'll walk through it one more time. And then I'll have you walk through it one time. Be all good. Okay, so if you look at letter B here, we are going to call this 5x squared what? Minus 18x. Yeah, we want to get that out of there. So minus 18x minus 8 equals 0. Okay, so that's going to be your new equation. And now let's try it again. So we're just finding the intercepts, the x-intercepts, the zeros, if you will. What's your first step? Okay, so your plots won't turn back on unless you turn them on, so you don't have to keep checking your plots every time, but you are going to go to y equals, and now you need to clear out what is there. But now notice, a lot of what you have is there already, so you could just go second insert and put a 5 in, and then arrow over, right? You may do that and just adjust, or you may clear it out and start all over. Just make sure if you're going to just work with what's already there that you put the right stuff in. Okay, but if you want to just insert a number in front, second delete is actually second, it's an insert. So you get 5x squared minus 18x, that's not an x, oh, I took it away. 5x squared minus 18x minus 8. You do it, because my calculator doesn't want to right now. Thank you, sir. Try to reopen. 5x squared minus 18x minus 8. From here, what do you do? So you should still have your y2 equal to what? 0. Don't ever change that. Just leave it. It's always going to equal 0 as long as you adjust it appropriately at the beginning. So stick with that. Did mine go away? Sure did. Okay, I'm going to try. 5x squared minus 18x minus 8. y2 is 0. My plot's turned back on, so I'm going to turn them off. Okay, so then you do what? Zoom 6. Okay, to graph it, zoom 6. So you should see your 2 lines if you have the color. If you don't, your second line is your y-intercept. Or your, sorry, x-axis, not y-intercept. What do you do next?
You do
Second, trace 5. Then what? Enter, enter, enter. 1, 2, 3. Okay, mine found the left one first. Sometimes it'll find the right one first. It does not matter. So you get x equals a negative 0.4. Write that down in your notes. X equals negative 0.4. And then what do you do next? Second trace 5 first, and then arrow over. Okay? Second trace 5. Grant, you should be doing this with me. Second trace 5. Okay, now arrow over. And it might disappear for a little while. You can see in your numbers when it's going to start to reappear again. But as long as you're closer to the other one, you're fine. Okay, so just get closer to your other point of intersection. Enter, enter, enter. And that one is x equals 4. I forgot to write the first one down. What was it, the first one? Negative 0.4. Right. Oh, goodness. Technology hates me today, you guys. Okay, so there's one more. You try this one on your own, and then I will show you what the answer is in a minute. Give it a go. What'd you get? 0.25. Yep. And? Not there yet. I'll show you all the steps in just a minute. 0.25 and a negative 1 is the other one. Okay, let's check it. So you put your stuff in here. Your y2 should equal 0 still. We go zoom 6 to see it. Okay, then it's second trace 5. Enter, enter, enter. And you get 0.25 right here. Okay. And then just make sure second trace 5 again. Don't arrow over and just try to see where it falls, right? We have to hit second trace 5. We want the calculator to do the work. So go second trace, not graph, second trace 5. Now you can arrow over. So arrow to the other one and then enter, 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 and you get a negative 1. Isn't that so easy? Hopefully, if you can remember those steps.